Good evening.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello, everybody.
How was everybody?
excellent. How are you?
Best day of my life. Did everybody have a good weekend?
Yes.
Yes.
Did everybody's team make it to the Super Bowl? Anybody's team make it to the Super Bowl?
No.
Of course not.
Yes,
Right.
Who
But it's
team
gonna
made
be
it
a
to the
good
Super
one
Bowl?
though.
the Eagles.
Who
It's
team made it to
gonna
the
be
Super Bowl?
good for the first time in history. We got two black quarterbacks.
I don't know if that's
We
first
ain't
time
got
in
no
history.
two black. We ain't got no
Yeah,
two
we
black
do.
quarterbacks.
We got two black quarterbacks. It's a black quarterback on each team. Yes, it is.
Well, I don't think that's the first time in history though. Like, I don't think that's the
Yes.
first time.
Yes, it
Yes, it
is.
is. Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it
It
is.
is.
Yes,
We
it
had
is.
two. We had two
Y'all
coaches, but
telling me
not
that's
two
the first
black.
time? Y'all
That's
telling me
true.
that's the first time in history?
That's what they
Yes.
said. You know they did it. You know they checked before they put it out
Four
there.
black. Yes. First of all, I'm not even a football player, whatever y'all want to call it, but I do know
Fan.
that.
Oh, okay.
I remember Doug Williams, and you had a number.
I
This
mean,
first time in history that you got two black quarterbacks.
okay. That could be. That could be true.
It
But anyway,
is
it's gonna be a
true.
good one. So who's having a big Super Bowl party?
I am.
Who is
I
that?
be in Cancun.
Uh-oh. I heard somebody say I am.
Yeah, look like Kishana. Who is that? Shauna.
I'm coming by for some lemon pepper wings. I don't know.
Unfortunately, I'll be in Loganville anyway because my niece's birthday is that day. So, you know.
Good deal.
Well,
Ladies
I
and
don't know
gentlemen,
where
this is-
I'll be.
You know where you're gonna be?
No, I don't.
Who gonna have ribs on the grill? That's what I want to know. Who gonna have the ribs on the grill?
Man, if I was home, I could throw some.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is an open forum, and so this is a whatever you want to talk about Monday.
I am ready.
Let it off Monday. That's what it is.
I would like, this is Glenda Collins Fairwood. How are you?
How you doing, Sister Collins?
I'm doing fine. I need to talk about the hole at the railroad track. It is serious. Somebody ran in it. They thought they had had an accident. Tore up the car.
I literally just, because I'm on 29. I'm on my way to help somebody change the tire. I just left and I saw that same thing and I said, nah, we talked about that about 3 months ago.
3 months, 6 months. It's been longer than that. Let me tell you
It's
what we
been,
talked about.
it's been continuous.
It's been a year at least.
That's not been a year because they filled. No. What happened is they filled it, and then it can't say again. They didn't correct the problem. So,
it was inadequate. The type of material used was not adequate for the amount of traffic that crossed that railroad track.
You have no argument with me.
Thank you. And not only that, the person before that ran in it and it bursted their tire. Now, either I'm gonna have to go up there with me a sign and call the news media and invite all the members of Fairwood up there as well.
Let's do that.
Where is this pothole?
Fairwood at 29, the one we've been talking about, apparently for like last 6 months, about a year. But they did fill it, but they didn't do it correctly.
What his name? Venezuela. He was on here.
Antonio Venezuela.
With the DOT talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna get it fixed. I'm gonna fix it.
And not only that, Mr. Venezuela promised me in a meeting at Welcome All that he was going, that I would see a difference in it. a difference in making the repairs that Jacobs would not do. And when we have the next meeting, I'm going to have to stand up and say that. And
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Jones had a meeting down at a clubhouse, and I gave her that information on an email. You know what? The woman got up there and talked and never addressed any issues that we had. And I'm sure that's why everybody went there to ask her questions, but she was not taking any questions. And I'm sorry to behave this way. I do apologize to everyone, but it's not right.
Ms.
You
Collins, you
have
don't
a
have to
job.
apologize.
You get paid. You need to do your job regardless of how large or how small it is, because it does affect people. And you are here to serve. Otherwise, they don't need those jobs. Excuse me.
I agree with her
Agreed.
100%. Who's over Antonio Venezuela?
Miss Jones.
So Ms.
And who's
Jones,
who's over her? What does the Board of Commissioners come in at? Where do they come in at?
We have council people.
right.
I know, but who are over all of them?
Well, I think that what needs to be happening is that we need to write letters to all our council people, asking them to vote them out, that Venezuela and Miss Jones, because Miss Jones never have her paperwork at the council meeting. When Willis asks her something, she never have any information. And Jones do not return. You can email her. Antonio, I tell you, I bet I sent him about 50 emails. He do not answer emails. And I think they gotta go. They holding up the progress. Thank you.
Moving the city forward. And that's all we want to do is move our city forward, because we are happy not to be part of Atlanta.
And that's why I asked the question, who is over Ms. Jones? Because somebody have to take the ball and run with it. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Somebody's not listening.
Corey, who is over Ms. Jones?
That would be the city council, ma'am.
Okay.
So you're a city councilman, right?
Ain't that
Yes,
you?
ma'am.
Is that you?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Absolutely.
what do you do?
I am one of 7. Absolutely.
So they're speaking of in your district.
So am I hearing? So am I hearing from the constituency that the city manager's bosses needs to provide some corrective action for the inadequacies or the lack of responses or the lack of the job description being filled?
No,
Most
they
Is that what
ready
I'm
for
hearing
her to
from the
go.
constituency?
Exactly.
Most
I
They ready
mean,
for her to go.
this is Loretta. I mean, we as on our job, we're responsible as part of our job to answer our emails. And I think that's pretty corporate going across the board. So they're not answering our emails, and she sent that many emails, then it's sitting on deaf ears. Nothing's getting done. And that's the problem. That's why we come to these meetings now, to see who we can see where we can get you guys to kind of advocate for us, because we see the things happening, but nothing's getting done.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So I take every single word that you have in consideration and moving forward appropriately with the actions that the constituency is demanding, because the non-responsiveness is she's been non-responsive to the constituents' concerns.
Right.
That's right.
Yes, because I have the email that I sent her before I went to the meeting, and everybody was sitting there waiting to ask their questions, and she got up there and gave her vision for the city and said, well, she wasn't answering any questions that night. I wanted to get up and slap her tongue out of her mouth. Because
Now that's That's kind of aggressive right there, Sister Collins.
I know,
But
and I'm not like that. But what I'm saying is, she should have let us ask some questions, because my question
was this a meeting over at Old Narrow, or was this a meeting over at Welcome All?
Old Narrow.
I remember.
Oh, yeah, she wasn't answering the question.
I remember.
Did not answer any question. Everybody went there for that same purpose, to ask her questions, but she refused to answer them because she knew that she had not addressed many issues that had come before her.
That's right.
Corey. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, making sure I'm being heard. Iggy, sit down. Sorry, I'm in the car with my doggy. Sit down, Iggy. I wanted to ask you, is it true that they did merge our water bill with our taxes under the tax commissioner of Atlanta?
Pardon me?
Did you hear me?
Repeat your question, please.
And my question is it true that they merged our trash bill with our taxes to the tax commissioner of Atlanta?
The Fulton County Tax Commissioner, Arthur Ferdinand.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the Fulton County Commissioner, Arthur Ferdinand, will be collecting our sanitation, not with our tax bill. It'll be a part of a bill, but separate from your tax bill.
Why did y'all need him?
Well, that's who does the collection.
Why couldn't the company just do it? You know, why did you all utilize him? Because I think we all get nervous when we say his name in taxes. Because if you don't pay your trash bill, will they be able to come
That's in
out?
Atlanta. Right. That's in Atlanta, right? And so that they put it on their actual tax bill. And can they lose their house if they don't pay sanitation in the city of Atlanta? Yes, that is true. Will that happen here in the city of South Fulton? Absolutely not.
Okay, that's all that was.
That is this bill. That is absolutely a false narrative.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I was very curious about that. And then another question I have for you is because somebody asked me, they were like that Helen Willis's mom died and she had a police escort to Savannah. I mean, that's taxpayer money. What's going on with that? Hello?
Okay, let me provide some clarity to that.
Okay.
Helen Willis's mother did pass, and the police color guard did come down and assist with the funeral. So, as that was the city of South Fulton Police color guard, and anybody requesting the police color guard part of a funeral will be granted if they are available.
so is that
Who paid for that?
who paid? So who paid for that?
Right,
That's
who
the
paid
question.
for it?
Who
Because-
paid for it?
Right, and they also stayed in the hotel. Now, you know, come on, let's get to the point. Who's paying for this?
Now, as far as them staying in the hotel, that I don't know. As far as I know, they came down that morning, participated in the funeral, and went back that evening.
You're not answering the question for it. Who paid?
No.
And we pay for it, or do our taxpayers pay?
No. But as far as the people who footed the bill, then that will be the constituency, the taxpayers. As far as I know. But let me just say this, because I don't know holistically and fully, but what I can do is I can promise you I can ask that question and find out that question, and I can have an authoritative answer for you.
So it looks like we paid for it though, right?
But as it stands as of right now today, the answer would be the taxpayers. But that is my non-authoritative answer. What I will provide you with is an authoritative answer, because I will send that question in the email format to get you the written authoritative answer.
What you just
on
said,
that
you just
question.
said right now, you just said the taxpayer. And what I'm trying to understand is, we all gonna live and die. Your mama died. Did we pay for your mama?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And did you request that for color guards and for us to pay for your mother?
No, ma'am. I just requested a proclamation.
Okay. My point is that we all gonna die one day. We all got an expiration date on us. And I have a problem with us paying for that. You know, I mean, you all seem to just, you know, it says arbitrarily, we'll do this, we'll do that. You know, I don't understand this. We don't have a strong tax base yet. We're trying to get there with all these warehouses, but we don't have it yet. So why would we pay for her to get a police escort to go and stay in a hotel and then to come back? That's too much.
Now, I don't know if they stayed in the hotel. That I do not know. Because I was at the funeral, because we was down there for a GMA conference already. And so it was the day after the GMA conference. So I just stayed and to pay my respects for a colleague who had a death in the family, an immediate family, as I would have done with any of one of my colleagues.
You would have done what?
Stayed and had my presence there at the funeral, the ongoing. Because it was literally.
You would have stayed an extra day, but did we have to pay for it? That's what I'm asking.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I was leaving. The day I was leaving was the day of the funeral, so I just stayed extra time to go to the funeral. Right. But I left after the funeral and I came back home. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Okay.
I have a question, Reese. This is Ms. Loretta. You and I talked last week about getting Buffington paved. You didn't email me back to give me any follow-up. Evidently, this Consuelo dude is not responding to any of the emails. I really want to know when we getting this done. We've been waiting 2 years for this to get done.
Buffington Park, correct?
Buffington Park, yes.
Yes, Ms. Loretta.
And we need pavements.
Ms. Loretta, I have not forgot about you. Believe you me. Miss General Leverett is on the phone as well. So I have not forgot about you, Ms. Loretta. I am waiting for that schedule. Trust me, it's you, Buffington Park, Regans Ridge, and 3 Lakes. I have not forgot about you.
You know, and I get that. My thing is, I'm back to the young lady question. You spending money for this escort that our tax is going to, that we've been waiting for. Come on now. Come on, my tax is paying for where I live at, but I'm paying for somebody's funeral that ain't even.
Exactly.
But I can't get my darn subdivision paid on those speed bumps. I'm just calling a spade now. I could be wrong, but this makes no sense.
The entire Buffington Road.
Loretta, I trust him. Don't trust me. Believe me that I am working to get that answer, as you are absolutely correct. Y'all streets should be paid and should be on the list and should be in this round of the street coverage, street pavings. So I do not have an answer for you today. And unfortunately I'll take the blame for that. But I am following up. My meeting tomorrow with the city manager is tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And
can I be a part of that meeting?
I wish you could, man. I wish you could, but unfortunately, that's our one-on-one meeting.
Okay.
That we have.
All I can do is ask.
No. And you have every single right to ask me whatever you want. I work for you. So, but just believe you me, that's the very first question is because when we talked last week, I sent the email and asked about the paving. And so I have not received a response. General Levitt, have we received a response to that question?
I mean, I believe you because I called the mayor, and the mayor told me to follow with you guys. And it's just everybody's back and forth and back. And
no, ma'am. The buck stops right here. The buck stops right here. I get it. There's no ping pong here. You asked me the question. I am to give you the answer, and I am going to get you that answer. Ms. Leverett, did we receive a response to that
So three
questions.
things happened last week. We sent one email and asked for a list of all the potholes in District 5 that were going to be that they were aware of in a timeline that they were scheduled to be repaired.
Okay.
We sent a second email out to all the HOAs asking the neighbors to all go and report any potholes that they were aware of, so we could, and send me a list so we can make a list of our own to know what everybody had reported. So we could follow up on where is it on getting these repairs.
Okay.
I went out and took pictures myself at the corner of Buffington and Royal South. I also went on I think Jerome Road, I think was the other one, and took some. And so we started a list. I only had like 4 or 5 people send me streets that they had submitted. And then we also sent an email asking for all the traffic and street pavings list for District 5.
Okay.
And they were sent to Mr. Valenzuela, and we have not gotten a response.
A
Okay.
response. So,
All right.
and so at my meeting tomorrow, because of those emails, my very first question, the very first question to our city manager, and besides the non-responsiveness, is what about the street pavings? I need to get right now a list of when they're going to be on the list and what the timeline. And then I'm going to get onto the non-responsiveness of the email. So Sister Collins, please forward me that email so that I can show her, because I will be via Teams, because I will actually be in the field at work, but I'm stopping my work day just to have this meeting via Teams. And so, but that is the very first question I'm asking. So there's no ping pong. I'm responsible for the area. So that buck stops with me. So I take full responsibility. So I'm going to get you that answer. So you don't have to worry about nothing when it comes to the 5th district.
Okay.
As I'm going to get you that answer, Miss Loretta. Believe me.
So you need.
And I wanted to ask you. Oh, Lord.
Do I need to remind you again, Corey, to email me?
No, ma'am. You do not need to remind me because as soon as I finish that meeting, I will be emailing you. So look for one to come between 12 and 1 o'clock p.m.
Tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am. Tomorrow,
Right.
February the 7th, 2023.
All right, I'm putting it down because I'm sure going at that.
Oh, I know Miss Loretta.
Email you back and say
trust and believe. I know Miss Loretta gonna hold me to the fire. You can believe that.
Ms. Thomas, do you have a question or comment?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I guess it's more so a comment and more so in support of Corey. After, and I appreciate the paper trail that you're trying to generate. Appreciate you and Ms. Leverett's work, because what I'm understanding is happening is that you've asked several times about these projects, and now we've created a paper trail where we had constituents turn in information. In addition to that, they've received no response. So now you are following up and you have not received any response. So now you're going into this meeting. So my question is after this meeting, once you get in there, I guess the expectation would be for them to generate a time frame of when these projects will be initiated, possibly completed. If you don't get the time frame, and if we don't see these projects initiated at that point in time, what would be our next action? And I am, I guess, more so at the point to where we appreciate what you have done. And now it's time for us to hold them accountable, meaning that we as a district might need to start showing up to these meetings in person. Amen. And hitting them back to back to say, we've asked for this. Our representative have sent this in. You have failed to respond. So will that be our next step? And if that is our next step, folks, we're going to have to show up as a group.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Once he's done all that he can do, now it's our turn to show up.
Exactly. I agree.
I'm there.
But I also wanted to comment that when I don't answer emails, I don't answer because you're not important. So I think that's very disrespectful for them not to answer you, Corey. I mean, what in the hell do you have to do? You know, it's like you are our council person. Why don't they answer you? Do they not like you? What's the problem?
Well, let me just say this, is that's why I have an administration, and I'm going to have decorum, but you also have, and this is why General Leverett is so key to the administration, because she is also a constituent, and she can do and advocate strongly and for what the constituents want. And I just simply back her up as she can do and say the things that I necessarily can't do and say, oh, you know,
Connection is
just
bad.
for the reason's sake. And so we do have methods of getting things done, but it's
Take all of that.
Let
but
me
the time,
let me let me say
but the
this.
time, but do they
Let
not
me
like
say
me? Do
this,
they not?
Coral. He tried. Do y'all remember the comedy skit where it used to be Obama and his bodyguard Luther, and Obama would say it nicely, and Luther would say it straight up. He's trying to be nice and say that in the office I'm generally Luther.
Well,
but it's an administrative
you know
tool that does work and is effective. And I'm just saying, but to Brandy's suggestion, by the fifth showing up and understanding that, you know, we're demanding, because see, not only do we have an actual paper trail, well, we have asked and we have asked and we have asked and asked. Well, the time for asking now is over, because it's now the time to demand. And to show up and demand is the constituents, to have that constituency show up and we fight in demanding, then I can be much more strong and authoritative, because it's not just coming from me, it's actually coming from the constituency.
So when do you need us to show up? That's what we're trying to let us know. That's all we asking. You ain't saying nothing but a word apparently, because we sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
The next
Well,
council meeting.
our next council meeting is the 28th, the last Tuesday
have
in
to be
February.
there.
But we do have a work session meeting on the 14th, which is next week.
So let's be
Valentine's Day.
let's be organized in this. So let's allow him to have this meeting, this
I agree.
upcoming meeting, so that he can get a time frame. So he can get them to commit to a time frame of when they're going to start it, and maybe a time frame of completion. Once we get that answer, then we'll hold them accountable for it and see if they started. If they do not provide him with an answer for a time frame of when they're going to get started and don't give him an answer, then we will show up to the next meeting. But let's allow this meeting to take place first, because now he's walking into a meeting with documentation and a paper trail.
I agree. Okay, it sounds good. I agree.
Okay.
Absolutely. And furthermore, because these meetings are recorded, I will just email them this, Mr. Valenzuela and Miss Tammy Sadler Jones, this recording of this call this evening, so they can understand where I'm coming from, so they're not surprised when I talk in the morning at 11 a.m.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yes, and because if I have time to break away, I'm going to actually show up in person. Like, right, so this meeting is set for Teams. But if I have the absolute time and ability to show up in person, now I might be in my work gear, but I will, because it's just to a point where I just need to be face to face, because this is just way past due. Just way past due.
But we
Councilman, is there any way we can
have
ask
on as
them
long
to
as you
put
get your
the end of
point
the
across.
meeting?
All right, Ms. Williams, you had a hand up.
No, I don't have a question.
Yeah, no, I think she's talking about me, I'm Jane. Okay,
Jane.
so. Yes. So, there's some work, so I just sent in, one of the potholes, potholes, manhole. Anyway, I just sent it to Tamika. So there's some work now being done down on Flat Shoals Road. Councilman, do you know what kind of work that is? It's right at Flat Shoals and Mallory. It's like, starts right there at that house before Mallory Road, and then it ends where the property I think you were looking at for the cottage homes. So you know
So
what's
I'm
going on?
actually so that was part of a I got a message from code enforcement that they was forcing them to clean up the property. So that message came from code enforcement. But to your credit, I'm actually getting ready to pull up there in 5 minutes as I'm getting off this exit on Flat Shows. And I'm going to give me some gas right here at the BP. And then I'm going here over to the property, like literally right now as we're on the call.
Well, does cleaning the property mean big tractors and digging and holes and all that kind of stuff? That's and having a Georgia State Patrol car out there all day, that's cleaning the property?
Rescue dogs at the scene, the urgent search for anyone who.
So you said there's a Georgia State patrolman out there?
So there
all
was
day?
a Georgia State Patrol car that was right there across from Heritage Park, that little subdivision that's right there. And they had tractor trailers and stuff. I mean, not tractor trailers, but you know, tractors and stuff, even ditch, raised a ditch today. So I'm trying to figure out that ain't cleaning no property.
Tonight, the most powerful earthquake to hit Turkey in 100 years.
And then it goes from that property right there, 2 houses up from Mallory to cross over Mallory Road to the property where I think you all wanted the cottage home, whatever that property is right there, right? Cross over Mallory Road. I don't see how that's cleaning some property. I don't know what they're talking about. They're digging ditches.
First responders to the scene of this collapsed building when the.
Okay, well, no, I'm about to pull up there right now and
I know.
Just another question for me to ask, because please tell me, because y'all don't know what we done went through with that piece of property right there. So y'all already know what we done went through with that property. And I promise I'm gonna find that out. So
I know that's right. I don't know what they do.
y'all already know. I don't even gonna begin to say what I'm not even gonna begin to say. So
Exactly. Okay, I just thought I would ask. They're not digging in the street. I want to make sure they don't leave no more holes over there.
right. So I'm literally
That's
at
what
the
happened
BP now
last
getting gas. And we're about to find that out like real quick. Because see, I know. They're not trying to play with that property right there. Like, you know what's going on. So we'll be right there in a minute. Literally about 5 minutes.
Okay, great.
So
thank you.
yes, indeed. Now y'all got me real anxious right now. What's going on, Doc? All right, man. How's everything? I know that's right, brother. How you doing, man? Best day of my life. Good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everything. How business? Hey, that's what's up. Right. All right. Yeah. So.
All right, Ms. Collins.
Hello?
We're here.
All right, Ms. Rucker.
Ms. Rucker? Latanya Rucker?
Can you hear me, Councilman?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you now.
Okay, when we was talking about Ms. Quayla and Jones, I was just wondering if there's any way we can invite them to our Monday night meetings sometimes where we can just kind of brainstorm with them. Sometime is that any way possible we can get
absolutely, Mr.
Great
Valenzuela has been on here a couple
idea.
times.
That's a great idea.
Right, Mr. Valenzuela has actually been on here a couple of times, but Miss Madam City Manager Jones has been invited several times. but has not come on. So let's see if who do we have next week, Tamiko?
Captain Chooks is coming on to talk about the police safety trainings, but I can reach out to the city manager.
Yeah, let's see if you know what. Let's do this. Let me ask her tomorrow. And what we can do instead of a Monday call, let's see whatever day she's able to make, let's just have a special call for the city manager. Let's just do that. Let's not see if we can wait the money. Let's see if we can get her this week. Y'all think we can get her this week? Do y'all think we can really get her this week? Let's try it. Let me text her
Send me
right
the
now.
invite. Just send me the invite.
I'm texting her right
Get them all
now.
together and whatever questions we can ask, get it from the horse's mouth, and this back and forth we don't even have to deal with. Let's talk to them directly, and that way that'll answer anyone's question, maybe. But I think that's an excellent idea to do, is to talk to them.
Great idea.
And I would just jump in and say, to Corey's point, we've had Mr. Valenzuela on this call a couple of times. And I do not want to be a Debbie Downer, so I'm all for her coming on the call. The problem is that the lip service. So again, we've had where we've asked Corey to address certain things. He's attempted to address them. And then now we have the paper trail to show that we've asked and to see what their responses want to be. So even though we get them on the call, the expectation may not be met, because they will probably, just like Venezuela has done plenty of times, given the lip service and the politically correct answer to say, I'll follow up. We've watched these council meetings, I'll follow up. Now is the time for us to get stuff in writing, to get time frames so that we can hold them accountable, instead of continuing to have these repeated conversations year after year after year. Because the next step, after we've established timeframes and they've not been met, then we can say, hey, these are budgeted line items that have gone unfulfilled. These are contract, because he's got on here and said he's asked for contracted restricted funds for stuff. And when we say, hey, we set aside this funds, where's the money going? You allocated for this, then it gets moved to that, and we're still without in this district.
Amen.
So having him coming up with these conversations, or her sitting on the phone with a conversation, now we need to have stuff in writing, and we need to have these documented issues addressed, versus them continuing to give politically correct answers. Because after that, we need to go to the news. After that, we need to ask for audits.
And that's why this is being recorded also. That's why I asked for them to come. And I understand what you're saying. I agree with you 100%, but you gotta cross your T's and dot your I's. So get them right out here so we can talk to them and get it from the horse's mouth. So when they renege, it's on record. It's being recorded, along with paper trail. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Ms.
What I did was I literally just invited her to join the rest of this call, but invited her to join the call for this week as well. So let's see what she does. Matter of fact, hold on. Y'all hold on for a second. Just hold on. Let me actually call her.
I think our biggest struggle is, where do we go and how do we hold these individuals accountable? Like what is our step? I don't think we can sue our own city, but how do we hold them accountable to make them actually deliver on these things that we're supposed to have? What is our recourse as a district to hold them accountable? Because we've been chasing this in circles and circles and circles, but how do we hold them accountable?
I think the biggest question becomes, what is it that council needs that they can pull the trigger? Like, what is it? Why can't they get that in check? Why can't, like, if, like he said, he's one of 7 votes. Why can't they line up to vote on what they need to do. Or think of it this way, the city manager is like a corporate CEO and the council is like their board. So if one of your managers are not, or directors are not functioning properly, why are they still there?
I agree.
I think that's the question that needs to be asked. If you have so many complaints, and you figure this is just a District 5 call. So move that over all 7. And why is this person still in charge, and not only in charge, but getting more responsibility? The sanitation is under him. All the street stuff is under him.
Hey, can you stop there, Tamika?
Mhm.
Thank you for inviting me to the call too. She's really good. I really like her. Whenever I call, she always calls me back. I wanted to
You're
ask, why do
welcome.
we have a white city? What's the guy in charge of the water and stuff? And he lives in North Atlanta.
Okay, say that question one more time.
Why do we have, like you said, in charge of waste and all of that? He's a white guy living in North Atlanta. He's not even living in the city and he's not doing anything.
Well, that's a 2-part answer. One, he's not white, he's Latino. And 2,
Okay.
he to apply for a job, several of us work in cities that's not where we live. So to apply for the position, you don't have to physically live there, but you do have to care about the job and want to take care of
anything. How can he take care of anything when he's not doing anything? He's just getting a paycheck.
But I think that's to her point to say, how do we get, how do we hold him accountable? How do we get out of a position? So say, for example, when you're on your job, you get a performance review. Based on your performance review, it determines whether or not you get a raise or you get fired. So what is the accountability steps for him? How does he remain in a position where he's unresponsive, where jobs are not being completed, where contracts are not being honored? That's what I think, and I may be speaking out of turn, Tamiko, that's what I think the direction is, what she's trying to say is that's what we need to look, is to see how do we hold him accountable? What's his performance review? How does he still remain in a job that he is not performing well in? Am I catching that right?
Yeah, you're on point.
So you're very clear, and you caught it all the way.
But this, Ms. Johnson, that's why I was saying that we need to send emails to all the city council people, asking them to agree to vote him out of there, and Mrs. Jones.
Or better yet, somebody mentioned going to the media. Media always work. I don't care when
But is it a vote, or does he have a contract, or is it a performance review? That's what we need to find out. Is this an appointed position, or he applied for the position? Is he under contract? Like, that's what we need to find out.
You can get fired.
I believe
from a
he applied for
contract
the position.
Yeah, you can still get fired. You could be escorted off the premises immediately. That's not hard to do. They got the police department.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I just got off the phone with her, Madam Jones. So she is unable to join the call tonight, but I told her we will send her a recording and what we have talked about today, so that she can be prepared on what it is that she needs to have ready in the answers. And I told her the first question that we was going to be talking about was, what's up with this pothole coming off Fairwood and Roosevelt we've been talking about for over a year. And as ladies and gentlemen, I am over here now at what's this, Fairwood and Mallory? I mean Fairwood and Mallory and Plateaus. So I'm about to go see what's up.
Corey, while you were gone, we had a question, and I don't know if you can answer it. Our question was, if Mr. Valenzuela and the city manager, I hope I'm not wrong with that, if they have, in some folks' opinions or in the council's opinion, have not met performance standard, and what why is it that the council has not, if it's possible, why is it that the council has not voted them or fired them?
May I say something? This is Chaplain McKee.
Chaplain McKee, yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. I know sometimes it looks like things are not being done. However, I think the first point was saying that Mr. Valenzuela always says, I'll get back with you. That's number one complaint I'm hearing. Okay, so now it's going to the city manager. So before he's not doing his job, there has to be more than just him saying, I'll get back with you. So I think maybe we should write our council person and voice to them that we're concerned about how he says he'll get back with you. Because if it's not on the agenda, we cannot go forward and talk about it. Is that right, Councilman Reeves?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Okay,
we're
so
past that stage though, is what we're saying. I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off, Sister Barbara.
What-
But we're past that stage of him saying.
Oh, we can put it
Well,
on the agenda.
I know that, but instead of just asking to get him fired right off, we haven't spoken to any of our council persons about how we are unsatisfied with how he says, I'll get back with you, or we'll get back to you later, and we never hear the results.
No, that wasn't, but that's not the question. Is the question is how, what are the steps for accountability? We're not jumping to them
Okay.
firing him. We're asking, what are the steps for accountability? So we've already established that we're going to allow Corey to go into the meeting and allow those questions to be answered, get back to us to tell us whether or not there has been a time frame and when these projects to be initiated. So the next question was going to be, if we don't get the answers, if we get the standard answer again, I'll get back with you. What are our next steps? And then that follow-up question came with the dialogue to say, if there has been if the council as a whole are not pleased with the performances of these two individuals, then why haven't they been fired? That's just a general question. We're not asking for them to be fired. We're just asking, if this has been a repeated thing, then why haven't they taken the next step? So it's kind of two conversations
Right, understand
going on right now.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So we'll just wait and see what Councilman Reeves come back to us with, because that is a concern. Thank you.
Correct, because one person cannot fire. It takes 5 council people to remove. The only person who works for us is the city manager. And so the question, but I get what you're asking. And so to be fair to the city manager, I would ask her those questions in sequence with our meeting tomorrow. And so, yes, I will definitely do that. But I'm out here at the corner of Mallory and Flash Shows. And so are we talking about, I'm sorry, I don't have my flashlight, but this house that you can clearly see off the road, if you make a right onto Mallory off of Flash Shows, the house that sits on the right-hand side.
Turn your camera on.
The camera is on.
Clean up.
We
Hold on, let
can't
me
see
see.
anything. It's extremely dark. We can't
Yeah,
see
we can't see anything. We don't even see you anymore.
I know, right? Hold on, let me see.
Saying.
Hey, y'all are funny. Y'all funny.
I
Y'all real
can
funny.
see.
I'm dead. I was dead serious.
Well, at least we know he brushed
really.
his teeth. We see those.
Right, exactly.
So,
We don't
hold
see
on,
nothing.
Hold on, let me
It's
see,
like
let
your
me see, let me
camera's
see.
off.
Let me see. I can't turn my camera around. Let me see. Hold on one second.
But Corey, do you see where they were working?
Yeah, I'm over here now. Oh, you know what? You know what? I'm about to solve this real quick. Yeah, Miss Armstrong, that's what I said. They real funny.
Or maybe you could turn on your car. Maybe if you turn on your vehicle lights and then use it for lighting.
Yeah, it
Y'all
starts
see
like
right
2
here? Y'all
houses
see behind me
up.
now?
Yes,
Yeah, now we see.
we see
Yeah,
that White House,
Yeah, that house right here.
Yeah. So wait, that White House is that on Flash Shows or Mallory?
It's on Mallory.
Okay, so the work started on Flash Shows right across from Heritage 2 houses up from Mallory, 2 or 3 houses up from Mallory. And then it crosses over Mallory, just not even a foot, right by the stop sign. You can see where they dig. So they weren't up on Mallory doing the work. They on Fletcher doing the work.
So this is why you gotta have a little safety light right here, so.
Miss Williams, you had a question?
No.
I'm sorry, Miss
I
Stacy.
did. I did. You
I'm
guys
sorry.
are on
Hey,
I'm
fire
gonna do first
tonight.
names.
Hey, we got 2 Williams on here. Okay, very good. Wrong one, sorry.
Good evening. You guys are on fire this evening. Unfortunately, you can hear my dogs in the background. But my concern is, of course, Buffington Road as well. But I wanted to, I guess, just put it on the list that Buffington Road, the widening, the street widening, that's what I'm really concerned with. When are they going to start with that?
Yeah, Miss Stacy, how you doing?
Good, good. I keep putting my thing on mute because the dog. So
that was a GDOT. We had GDOT come on about maybe a month ago to talk about that. And they said that there will be, you can go to the Area 7 office, which is right across the street on Roosevelt Highway on Walker Mall, at the corner of Walker Mall and Roosevelt Highway, and look at where they're at in the progress. Now, according to the phase 1 and phase 2, that they was in the acquisition phase, and they should be completed by May of 23 this year, with the street widening from the bridge up into the bridge coming from Rural 85 up into the bridge leading off to Spur 14. So what we can do, Stacey, is we can send you that recording on what GDOT said about what they're going to be doing with that lot.
yeah, because if it's supposed to be May, then we're talking about 3 months from now,
Well,
and they haven't
we know
started
that's way
anything.
off. Right. We completely know that that's off. But that's what they
Right,
said. That's
because
literally what they said.
our backyard is on Buffington Road. And the problem is they're talking about cutting trees down and everything. And we are not doing anything with our backyard because we're not going to have a backyard anymore.
Yeah, I need to know that too, because my backyard is facing Buffington as well. Are we talking about where the high school is as well, across the bridge that way? Am I understanding that right?
Yeah, the bridge up from Rural 85 all the way back down to the bridge on Spur 14. I mean, well, which is South Fulton Parkway.
Yeah, and
I'm not gonna have a backyard either.
Yeah, and I've tried calling the 2 gentlemen, because you had 2 gentlemen on before.
Mr. Paul Denard.
Uh-huh, and they didn't know anything about it.
That's funny because they literally came on the show and told us all about it.
Exactly. But when I call the office, I can't get a clear answer.
I'll tell you what, we'll just put your email in the chat. We'll send you the recording.
Okay, I appreciate that. And you said Welcome All and Roosevelt, right?
Roosevelt, yes, the Area 7 district, their Area 7, the District 7 office, GDOT office.
Okay, well, you know how I am. I'll be taking a visit.
Oh, absolutely.
Miss Chandra actually went up there, and she also just put a name of a contact person that's over there in the chat.
Is that Ruben? Right. Is that who it is? Ruben Collins right there? Is that the person?
Yes.
Thank you, Chandra. Chandra, what did they say when they was on the call, and then what did they say when you went up there?
So what Mr. Ruben McClure said on the call that evening is that, yes, you guys, not Ruben, it was actually the other gentleman. I cannot recall his name, but he said,
Denard?
Oh, yes. He said, oh yeah, you guys can go to GDOT. You'll be able to see a big poster letting you know the progress of the Buffington Road. I live off of Buffington Road as well. But I live closer to South Fulton Parkway, that end. So my community absolutely will be
affected. Yeah, all of us.
Widening. So he said that there will be a huge bill, there'll be posters showing the progress of the widening project. So I went there probably 3 weeks ago now. And number one, there isn't any sort of poster or any sort of visual aid to indicate when this project's going to start, let alone where it's going to start. So Mr. McClures is whom I spoke with, got his number, and he gave me a printout of the project. But if you're not a part of GDOT and understand how to read that information, it wasn't the easiest thing to read. So, but what he did say is that this project will take place in 2 phases. So it will start at Roosevelt Highway and then to the rock quarry, just past the rock quarry, and then from the rock quarry to just past Royal South.
Okay, so it sounds like they're not coming across the bridge where the fire department is and where the
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
not coming. Okay, all right, but that don't
Did he
affect.
say what day the a month or a time frame for phase 1 to start?
I did not. First, I didn't ask that question, nor did he volunteer the answer.
Understood. Okay.
But we will send you the recording that I
And
believe
I will
the
make a
information is
visit.
on there. And yeah, because matter of fact, with it was also 2. Yeah, we'll send you the recording.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, been a very interesting call today. Thank you so much for taking the time out of y'all day and joining us. I'm literally seeing what you're talking about. This was okay, to answer the question, because I did inquire about this, about what a house is. This is literally was a code enforcement deal where code enforcement came by and forced the owners to clean up the property. And they did. That's where all the clarity came out from all the overgrowth and from all the overgrowth that surrounded this property. So, which means that means we have a metric, ladies and gentlemen, right? So, anybody else have a severe overgrowth, then that means we know what we can do. That Mr. Valenzuela needed a person. You said Mr. Valenzuela needed a person to assist him. Isn't that what Francois Rousson does? Isn't that his assistant? So I'm not clear about that.
Well, he doesn't call either.
Well,
And
right.
Corey,
There's a couple people who assist him.
Yes.
Transit, where the and the trees are going across the street, Mr. Burke said that was in different subdivisions. And I don't know if they're gonna clean these out of the street and the sewer, so they won't go down the sewer. And the lambs going over the tree because Miss I can't remember that lady's name. She came to the meeting. It was sent to C-Click Fix. Jane sent it with the pictures that I sent to her. And Mr. Burkett said that was in 2 different subdivisions. And I don't know if he was telling me that they could only clean one side or they couldn't clean both sides. So how does that work if it's in 2 different subdivisions?
I couldn't understand it. I'm not understanding, Ms. Collins. They couldn't clean both sides.
Right. Because the leaves from the trees and the trees are growing across the street. We asked them to come and cut all the limbs off the street. So when you drive down the street, the limbs will not hit your car. Mr. Burkett said it was in 2, he believed transit is in 2 different subdivisions. I don't know if he's saying one side is in Fairwood and one side is in Pebble Beach, but to me, it's all part of the city.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not understanding. Like this transit circle you talking about?
Yes.
I'm driving over there right now. I don't have a clear understanding of what you're saying, right. And if you're saying that both of them is part of the city, that's the only thing that would make sense. Like one side of the street is not the city and one side of the street is public, private. That's, I'm not
Pebble Beach.
understanding.
No.
I'm
Miss
just driving
Johnson,
over
are
there
you still
now.
on the phone?
But see, back in the day, Corey, Pepper Beach and Summer Transit had their own subdivision because they didn't want to be a part of the Fairwood Homeowner Association.
The
But
Lakes of Fairwood.
right. So that does not have anything to do with the city of South Fulton because we are all one city. They just try to give us any kind of excuse down there at the city of South Fulton, but they won't have to come out and do the work. But they need to come out and do what we send these emails in for.
Well, I'm literally coming down Pebble Beach to come down Transit Circle. Literally, as we speak. So, because I'm just not understanding that don't make no sense.
I know, and he told us to send the request to Gigi, whoever Gigi is with the city of South Fulton with C-Click Fix, and tell Gigi what the situation is.
Tell Gigi. Who is Gigi?
We don't know.
That's what I'm saying, Corey. They just be trying to, we send so many emails. I just think when we attend these meetings, they just be trying to throw us off.
No, look, well, we're not going to be thrown off.
And all the leaves had fallen off the tree and they
please, you know what, do me a favor. Forward that email to me. Just forward it to me. That's all, just forward it to me. And
James,
who is this? And so, yeah, just forward the email this to me if you don't mind. I'll greatly appreciate it.
Well, we
I'm
send it
on
to C-Click
Circle
Fix
right now.
Yeah, we send it to C-Click Fix, and we have pictures of it. I'll send you the pictures.
And we also sent pictures over about what's that?
Pierce
Fairwood and
Road.
Pierce Road. We sent pictures for that. All that water bagging up down there in trash.
Right.
Yeah, I can send those, Ms. Johnson, Collins, I can send that C-Click post. I can share it.
Oh, okay. You gonna send Corey both of them?
Yes, ma'am, I'll send it.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. Because it's
You're welcome.
because I'm over here on Transit Circle right now. Like
now, when they in the springtime, when all those trees bud out and you can see all the leaves, I'm sure and I'm sure the limbs hang down then.
well, see, now would be the time to cut these off.
It's the time because I got.
That's right.
Well, now would be the time, right before, because while it sticks. Yeah. While it just sticks, and so, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll take care of that.
Yeah, Mr. Jones about that tomorrow.
Something is dealing with. Anyway, something's wrong with that whole answer. So, oh my God, I just can't believe it. But however,
Can I ask one last question before I exit the room? I think, and everybody can attack me if you want, I think we need to get more organized. So we got one council person, and maybe we need to take some of this burden on ourselves, meaning that we might need to find a place where we can meet, put some ideas up on a board and focus on a specific topic just to get it started. So take, for example, you've sent this information to C-Click Fix, you sent emails and you haven't gotten a response. So maybe when we all kind of meet together, what steps do we want to take? Do we want to all create one email and then bombard all these people with the same email, again, having the paper trail? Then 2, show up focusing only on one topic, ask to have get up and speak and say, we've sent emails on this date, this date, this date, this date. And then the next person comes up, we send emails on this date, this, then the next person comes up, so that we can show that in District 5, we are beyond these Monday night calls. We are beyond sending our one representative to speak for us. We are beyond this. Now we're going to start showing up. And then our next step will be to go to the news. Because at some point, something has got to happen besides us continuing to come on these Monday calls, speaking about the same thing. And I'm starting to recognize voices, and I'm like, she talked about this 3 months ago. This has been an issue, so we got to do something different besides just getting on these calls, talking about the same thing.
I agree.
And right, as we do have a paper trail, and I said that we do have metrics, because that's one of the things about these calls is that they're meant to be progression calls, like progress calls. In other words, if you repetitive conversations mean stagnant solutions, right?
Right. And I just think that we need to, instead of doing big chunks, because everyone, of course, has their own individual issue, but we need to pick one and fight for one issue to start and then come back. Like we've got so many things going on that when we get on these calls, it's one person speaks and the next person speaks, and it's so much that we have to take in and dissect, that maybe if we focus on what is going to be our one topic for the month to focus on, to be able to present that one topic at council meetings.
Or better yet, not to cut you off, or better yet, find who's responsible for each concerns that we have, because evidently the concerns that we have, different people are responsible for it. So if we get together, find out who's responsible for what your concern is, and then focus it that way, then we can go in, because then we'll take care of everybody's concern at one time, because it just looks like everybody have different people responsible for what our concerns are. That's just the way I see it.
The majority of the concerns are under one particular person. But we do schedule Burdette for the 4th Monday of each month. So might I suggest that instead of this meeting online, that y'all use that as your time to prepare, if that's what you would like to do. The meeting room is already scheduled at Burdette for Monday, February 27th at 6 p.m.
Okay, well, I plan to be there, but
also too is like, ladies and gentlemen, like, thank y'all again for joining this call, and that's why. And what we do is the fun we have, because we do have a city manager, we do have an assistant city manager, and she just put in for we approved another assistant city manager, so to have 2. So that, to be fair to the question that was asked, we should not, based on those, have any emails or any questions from the constituency unanswered. Because our job is to equip the city manager with the tools that she needs to win. That is our sole job as a fiduciary, as to ensure that they have the tools to win. And if they have the tools to win, then they have no excuse. But what we do as a city council, as their boss, is to equip, as with any boss, with anywhere you go, is you want to be equipped with what it is that you need to win, and to give the best output that you can. So that being said, and I have mentioned that to our city managers, like, what is it that you need to win? But I am one of 7, but I am, when it comes to the 5th district, I am accountable. I am your accountability person. You don't have to go ask, there's no passing the buck, there's no running from it, there's no doing any ducking and hiding. It's right here, me, and this is what you have every Monday night, right, wrong, or indifferent. I am the person that y'all elected to go into battle for you. And so, and I intend to do absolutely that and do my best with the team. As everybody know that I always preach collaborations win championships. And so we do have an administration, we do have a team, and we're going to get y'all the best output that we possibly can get for you guys, hands down. And so I'm not one of these inactive persons who just sit around and twiddle their thumbs. We actually look and find and seek out viable solutions because you deserve the best quality of life, best service delivery that you can have that your taxpayers can't have. But I will answer the question as I did get it from her, that as it pertains to the police going out with Savannah, they did spend the night. So there was something that they did spend the night. However, I got to get with Chief Meadows to provide the actual who did what and where and what happened. So that will have to come from Chief Meadows. But yes, to answer the question, they did. There was a part of the police department, color guard, I believe that's what they call it, that did spend the night. So I will meet with my city manager in the morning and we will talk about this, as I will send her this video clip this evening and so that she can take a look at it and listen to what the constituency has said and has been the concerns that have been raised. And so that's all in its fullest, and so that we can come to a resolve as we need to, as it should be done, as y'all voices will not go unheard and will not go unrepresented. So, but I do want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to join this evening and voicing your concerns. I really appreciate it, and all I can do. And so, y'all are the best part of the city of South Fulton, and I love you. You can't do nothing about it. It is 7:44 p.m. And so we just ran over a little bit, but I think it's necessary. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, Ms. Collins. Thank you to all.
Night.
And let's get organized. Let's get with it, and let's get to some solutions. Let's get with the
Thank
best product we
you.
can produce. Okay.
Thank you, Corey.
Have a good
Everybody have a
evening.
good evening.
You too.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tamiko.
You welcome.
You work so hard, Tamiko. We really do appreciate you.
You welcome. We just want everybody to get it done. Just focus on what we need to do.
Well,
But
the
we
thing
appreciate y'all for coming on every week, no matter what, and following up with us and keeping us on topic. Mostly all the speakers that are scheduled come from the things y'all talk about, and we go out and ask them to come on and get scheduled. So I thank y'all for coming on and helping us keep this meeting going.
You're
well, we
welcome.
appreciate it because it's a great thing.
You're welcome. Have a good
And
night.
good night.
Good night,
Good night.
Tamika.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Good
John Boy.
Bye.
We love you, Corey.